Well, Election Day is a little more than 2 weeks away, and here at home, we're keeping a close eye on the race for Big Island Mayor. Our Mika Miyashima spoke with incumbent Mitch Roth, who's seeking a second term, along with his opponent, Dr. Kimo Alameda, a psychologist who was most recently vice president of business development for the Hawaii Island Community Health Center.
If elected, what do you think the biggest issue is for Hawaii County, and how do you plan to fix it?
Sure. I mean, there are a bunch of issues, right? But I think the biggest issue right now is the economy. We got to get, construction workers to start working. I mean, there's a permitting issue right now, and so that's one issue. Also, there's a trust issue, with the line staff and the administration, and so we got to rebuild that trust. And we also need cabinet members and directors to buy into our system of getting things done quickly with transparency.
Our top issue kind of revolves around housing. And if you think about housing for a second, you're talking about homelessness, you're talking about all sorts of other things. We have a difficult time keeping our kids here in Hawaii. So, when we came in, our affordable housing pipeline, we had 1,243 units. We're now up to about 8,100 units. We've made some changes in the way we do permitting. We just passed a bill for accessory dwelling units or ohana houses. And so we're really seeing a possibility of actually making up a lot of those housing needs. We're also working on our short-term vacation rental bills. So there's a whole bunch of things that we're specifically working on. But from where we came from 4 years ago to where we're at now, we've had a lot of great progress.
A majority of voters are middle-class citizens. So what can you do to help the middle class? Maybe people who don't qualify for affordable housing, say, but also need a loan to pay for their car or their homes. What can you do for the middle class?
When we talk about affordable housing, let's talk about what that term means. Those are HUD terms. HUD has different terminations of affordable housing. And so you have the 30% of AMI to 140% AMI, 100% and above, you're talking about your teachers, your middle class. And so there are possibilities for affordable housing with those 8,100 units that we're talking about. But if you take a look at what we've did, we came into this position during COVID. And there was a lot of questions about what was going to happen. We had the highest ALICE numbers, asset limited, income constrained, and employed in the state. Coming out of COVID, we were the only county to decrease our ALICE numbers. Everybody else had, increases. We had decreases, which is the right direction. We did that by making sure that we were taking care of our people, making sure that people were able to work and put food on the tables. And, that's what we continue to want to do. As we fix our permitting programs, we're hoping we keep businesses going. A lot of different programs that we've started during this last 4 years. We're going to continue with those programs to make sure that our people are thriving here and, middle class, as well as, those families that are struggling.
I mean, I call it the missing middle, right? Because the gaps between the haves and the have-nots has grown. And so it's the working class now that is kind of bearing the burden, if you will, of the economy and of the services. So, first thing we'd like to do is to look at mixed zoning. Second thing is we need to make sure that the jobs that these middle class folks have, that the wages are livable wages. And if we got to advocate, with the state on that, then let's do it. We also have to diversify the economy too, so that the middle class is not, because if there's another COVID, then the hospitality industry will take a big hit again. And so our administration would be looking at jobs across different sectors and paying attention to the middle class. And this is where the land tax comes in as well. So our administration would be looking to lower these taxes by either freezing it for kupuna, especially, because I worry about the kupuna, right? Because many of them are on pensions. And so, when the land tax goes up because their neighbor bought some big property, put a pool, and the appraisals went really high, now that affected their appraisal, which then their land tax went up. Well, guess what? Guess what doesn't go up? Their pension checks. So now you got a steady kind of a pension, and then you got land taxes go up. And that's how we're pricing our locals out of paradise. And our administration will pay attention to that. We'll look at options of maybe freezing taxes.